Summer tops are one of my favorite things to knit and to wear. I think it's because there are no sleeves to knit. By the time you finish the body, you might have short sleeves to finish up and some other finishing, but that's it. So much better than being stuck on Sleeve Island. And I'm not alone. I asked you your thoughts and opinions about summer knits, and you shared some great patterns with me, and we're going to take a look at some of those in this video. Hey nerdy knitter, Tanya here. I'm a certified knitting instructor and a master hand knitter, and I believe knitting's a form of self-care. You can take time for yourself in the creative hobbies that you love to do and still create beautiful garments that you love to wear. And I love to knit summer tops. Like I said in the intro, I think it might be because by the time you finish the body, you don't really have much left to do. You might have some short sleeves to finish up and some other finishing, but then it's pretty much ready to wear. So even though it's already June right now, probably still have time to knit one and get some wear out of it before the end of the summer. And I'm not alone in this opinion. I asked about your favorite patterns for summer tops, and you shared a lot of them with me. I'm going to link to that conversation below the video because I can't share every single comment. So I just went through and I think I picked 12. And we're going to look at all of those patterns in those 12 comments. But there were a lot more than that. I wish I could highlight more, but we would be here for a lot longer if we did that. So be sure to go check out those comments and see what other knitters recommend knitting, because there are a lot of knitting patterns out there. And to narrow things down, I like to find recommendations from other knitters from things that they've actually knit and the things that they actually wear. So that's what we're going to look at in this video. So I'm sitting here at my computer, we're going to go to the screen and we're going to look at these patterns together. Number one on our list is Yume by Isabell Kraemer. Knitty Lenu recommends this pattern. So this is knit top down. There isn't any finishing at the neckline. It's just cast on, you start knitting. Circular yoke design. So you've got all of this very simple, pretty lace. So you've got something going on there with your increasing for the yoke and knitting that lace. Then the rest of the sweater is just plain stockinette. You can see there are two different sleeve lengths here, a short sleeve and a long sleeve. So of course for summer, probably going to want that short sleeve, which it doesn't look like much to finish. By the time you finish the knitting the yoke of the sweater, coming back and finishing the sleeves is going to be pretty quick. Looks like a twisted rib down at the hem of the sweater and along the sleeves. I like that. So instead of having to knit this twice, you just knit two different sleeves, so you could see the options here. But pretty basic, I would think. The pattern does say that it has some short rows to raise the back neck, and then it's worked top down. And then some more short rows to finish the yoke shaping right before you divide the sleeves and the body. But I would say skill level. Instead of saying like beginner, adventurous beginner, or whatever, I'm just going to list some of the skills. And obviously this one, you've got the basic things, knitting in the round, knitting, purling, casting on, binding off. But beyond that, the only thing I see is the short row shaping. And short rows aren't difficult. If you haven't done them before, you should definitely give them a try because they can really help improve the fit of your knits. So this one comes in 7 sizes with finished bust measurements from 36 to 52 inches. Yarn weight is a sport weight. She uses 2 strands of lace weight held together to get the sport weight, and it's about €6. Beanbox Knitting recommends this Tori tank from One Wild Design. So this one's more fitted. Now I was reading through this one and she includes instructions for short row bust darts in 4 sizes, which is really great because this is such a fitted tank. If you have a larger bust, you're going to want to do something to accommodate your bust and still have the rest of the garment be really fitted. So it's knit from the bottom up. It starts with sort of this really nice scalloped edge down here, and then it goes into this chevron pattern, which is a very classic lace chevron that you'll probably see in different stitch dictionaries. And then it's knit in the round, and then when you get to the armhole separation, then you would stop and do the front and the back. And then I'm not sure how they're joined at the top, maybe 3-needle bind off or just sewn together. So this one comes in 11 sizes from 32 to 72 inch bust. It uses fingering weight yarn. It's $14 US, but you're getting the bust adjustment in here. So I think that is probably worth the price for that especially. Now for skills, there is a tubular cast on, there's applied I-cord edging, and there are the short row bust darts. So those are sort of like the extra skills that you would tackle in this pattern. Jane Bell had 3 recommendations: this Lenu sweater by Ankestrick that we're going to look at, the Friday Slipover by Petite Knit, and the Tolsta tee by Rebecca Clow. We're going to look at that one as well because somebody else recommends that, but I wanted to look at this one because Ankestrick is on my to knit list because I really like some of her designs and the construction of them is interesting. And I thought this one was as well. So Jane Bell does recommend that, or she knit hers with short sleeves. Obviously, that's probably what you're going to want in the summer. But it has this really pretty design on the front, like this lace cable pattern on a background of, it looks like seed stitch right there. Now what draws me to, I'm drawn to this one because of this sleeve construction. This uses a contiguous sleeve shaping. You can see there's the shaping right here on the back and on the front as well. So I find that very interesting. So I'm just curious to see how that is done. That's interesting to me. When I see a construction I haven't tried before, then I like to see that. So this one is knit top down. It's got short row neck shaping, and then that in a contiguous sleeve shaping. That panel down the front, and then on the back it has a panel as well, but just plain seed stitch, just for a little interest right there. So this one comes in 10 sizes. Really lovely pattern. Now it's a DK weight, but it uses a lace and fingering held double, but probably for a summer knit, I don't know, probably just go with the DK weight yarn. And it's about €7. So for skills, we are looking at some short row shaping, that cable panel, and then that contiguous sleeve shaping as well. Then we have the Tolsta tee. Jane Bell recommended that. And also this comment from Sleepy Dr. J recommends this one as well. So this one, and she does mention that a loose gauge using a linen yarn here, but I noticed that with this pattern, it's a DK weight yarn, but it's a pretty loose gauge, 17 stitches to the inch, so you're getting that light and airy fabric here. Now the pattern itself is pretty basic. It's just a basic top-down raglan. I don't even see any notes about short row shaping here. So basic knitting skills, very good for beginners. It also includes like a section or an extra resource on like making different types of, or the same pattern, but adding stripes, adding those eyelets, knitting a solid color. You can see from the pictures here that she's got like wide stripes and eyelets and lots of different things going on. So you can take your basic pattern and then customize it, but it's meant to be done with the DK weight yarn, but with a looser gauge so you can get that light and airy fabric. It comes in 10 sizes from, let me see, 31 inch to 67 inch bust. And there is also a fingering weight yarn version included as well. And this one is 7 Great British Pounds. Farmer's Wife recommends the Luminous Summer by Minimi Knit Design. This is another circular yoke. Very, very simple. You're just casting on, starting that right away. So there's no neckline treatment here. You do have like a round of eyelets. So that's giving you some increases for the yoke shaping, but also a little bit of decorative touch there. And it looks like there is a tiny bit of sleeve finishing here, so some ribbing or something on the sleeve, and a little bit down, looks like a twisted rib down at the bottom, so a cropped length. Very, very simple. You've got the eyelets, minimal finishing. There is some short row shaping for the back neck. This one comes in 10 sizes from a 37 to a 70 inch bust. DK weight yarn, it's about €8, and the only extra sort of skill here would be that short row neck shaping. Then we had a recommendation for Summer Sorrel by Wool and Pine, and I think there is a long sleeved version in a different yarn weight, but this one's in fingering weight, so it's more appropriate for warm weather. So this one is also knit top down. It's a circular yoke. You've got this slip stitch detail in the yoke right there. There's a good shot of it. You can really see it well right here. And then the body is in a reverse stockinette stitch, which is nice for like a variegated yarns or speckled yarn. So this is all done in reverse stockinette, but you're actually knitting it inside out. So you're just knitting every round, and then when it comes to finishing, you're going to turn it the other way. So the reverse stockinette is the side that is showing. And there is an I-cord edging at the neckline. There is some short row neck shaping. And then there is a video tutorial as well for the special stitches in there. Take another close-up shot of that really lovely neckline. So this one is $8.75 US and comes in 14 sizes from a 34 to a 68 inch bust. And for skills, there is that I-cord edging, there's the short row shaping, and then that slip stitch pattern as well, but there's video tutorials for that. Books and Beers recommends this Tankar tee by Anniina Juuti. This one looks really nice and summery as well, and I love a good drop shoulder where the sleeves are integrated right into the pattern, and that's what is happening here. So this is knit top down. It's that boxy t-shirt style with the drop shoulders, but so you're knitting this all at once, but the width of it is creating the sleeves at the same time. So you don't have to come back and do any sleeves later on. They're built right in. So the notes from this pattern, the t-shirt is worked from the top down, starting from the back panel. The back and the front are worked flat separately, and then the shoulders and neckline are shaped after the ribbing using short rows. Let's see if we can see the short rows in there. Oh yeah, you can see right here, the short row shaping is done right there in that garter stitch section. Then back and front are joined in the round at the underarm, and the rest of the body is worked seamlessly, and then your shoulders are seamed together. So I like the construction of this one as well. It looks just a nice relaxed summer tee. I like a little sleeve from my upper arm, so this one would definitely suit me. It comes in 10 sizes from 31 to 65 inch bust. It uses DK weight yarn. It's about €8, and as far as skills, we do have that short row shaping along the back, and that it looks to be about the only thing. The rest is like basic ribbing, stockinette, some garter stitch, and some rib. And I mean, you are starting out working each piece separately. So you're working the back, and then you're working the front, back and forth flat, and then you're joining them. And I think it was working in the round to the bottom. So there's, I mean, a few things going on here, but pretty simple. I think that it definitely within like a beginner wheelhouse. I really love this recommendation for Lori for this V-back tee by Jamie Hoffman. Now this one, I really like this reversibility. It's got two neckline options basically. We have this one, which she's wearing in the front right there, that V neck. And then you can also wear it with this in the front. This sort of a boat scoop neck style, and it looks more like a circular yoke on this side. So really interesting the way that is worked right here. So I was reading the instructions for this. So this V-neck side, it's knit on the bias. There's an increase worked. The increases are worked right here, and that creates the fabric moving out this way. And then on the other side, it looks like a circular yoke. So I'm really intrigued by this one, and her color combinations as well. That's really nice. So there is some short row shaping as well. It comes in 19 sizes from 28 to 64 inch bust. Uses fingering weight yarn, and let me see, it's $10 US. So, and for skills, we're looking at some short row shaping and then that neckline and that bias shaping. So there's stuff going on here. I'm really interested in this pattern. So lots of a big size range as well. And it's got like this A-line shape, which is nice too. Something else I like in my summer tops, just that bit of shaping to make it move out from your body and make it a little more loose and relaxed. So this one is probably going to end up on mine to knit list. Jackie recommends Bordeaux Nights from Expression Fiber Arts, and I really like this one as well. You know, I like a nice ruffle, and this one has a ruffle. Can't beat that. But this one also has a really interesting construction. So you're starting down here at the bottom with a provisional cast on, not the ruffle, just above that. Provisional cast on, you're knitting to the underarm. I guess you're knitting in the round, and then up here you have to divide and knit the front and the back separately. So when you're knitting though, you're working, it's in fingering weight yarn, but when you get up to this point, you stop and you switch to a lace weight yarn. I think you stay on the same needle size, so you get like that open airy fabric up here at the top because the yarn is so much finer. And then you do the back as well, and you would join with a 3 needle bind off. The sleeve stitches are picked up and also worked in that lace weight yarn, and then finished with just a bit of garter stitch in the fingering weight yarn right there. And then it's finished. You come back to this provisional cast on and you add this ruffle down here. I really like a ruffle. I think that's so cute. And I think it said something about a ruffle at the neck as well. So there is one in a different, without the ruffle, just a bit of garter stitch down here. You can see the difference in the yarn right there. Like it's this nice solid cream color, and then this speckled yarn is used up here. And then it looks like just a very simple finish on the neckline on that one as well. So yeah, you can see this one has a ruffle and a sort of a stand-up ruffle collar. So two different versions of it, so you could mix and match depending if you like that ruffle or not. This one comes in 9 sizes from a 28 inch to a 62 inch bust, $7 US. And as far as skills, we've got that provisional cast on, 3 needle bind off, and the ruffle as well. But of course you can always omit those and do the basic one, which I think is very pretty. It's a nice way to combine some lace weight yarn and a fingering weight yarn as well. So Karen recommends Jenny Flower by Julie Knits in Paris, and she also recommends Bob, which is over on knitty.com. She's knit multiple of both of these patterns. I feel like if you've knit them more than once, you must really like them. So we had to definitely look at this one. So this one is also top-down circular yoke, which feels like a theme. We've had quite a few of those today. And it uses eyelets and stripes and very basic, simple pattern. So definitely within the wheelhouse of a beginner. So this one's knit top down, and it starts with that gray color for the twisted rib neckline up there, and then we've got 2 color stripes going on with this lovely pink. And then there's also some eyelets in here as well. And of course with the top down circular yoke, we are working increases up in the top of the yoke to make it fit your shoulders and your body. And I'm guessing that those are what at least some of these eyelets are for, is the increases. I don't see any increases in between. They could be there, but so up here at least we're using those increases to create the shape of the yoke. And then the body is sort of a nice loose fit, and we've got this twisted rib again at the sleeve cuff and down at the hem, and more eyelets down here as well. So this one comes in 9 sizes, from 28 to a 60-inch bust. It uses lace weight yarn. It is €6, and as far as skill level, I don't see any mention of short rows or anything like that. So it's fairly basic and definitely beginner friendly if that's the case. Now the Rocket Tee has popped up, I think, in some other videos as well from Tanis Fiber Arts. This is also top-down knit. This is a top-down raglan. You can see right there, there's some raglan shaping. She uses eyelets, it looks like, for that raglan shaping, but this one is going to start flat because we have a V-neck going on here. So instead of the usual boat neck, crew neck, we've got a V-neck, which is a nice change. And she also goes between 2 different yarns for this one. Oh, there's a good close-up shot. So this blue color here, she's using a fingering weight yarn. And then this one, I think, is the lace weight mohair. So she's using the same needles. So it's going to give you a lighter fabric right there. And you can see, like, especially harder to tell in pictures, but in person, you'll be able to tell the difference in the fabric between the two. And it creates these really lovely stripes. Good look of the view of the raglan shaping right there using the just yarn over increases. Very simple finishing. It could be an I-cord finish right here. It looks like, yes, something like that, or maybe just binding off on the sleeves. But this one is knit top down V-neck shaping. Comes in 11 sizes from a 32-inch to a 68-inch bust, combining that fingering and lace weight yarn. $9 US. And as far as skill level, I would think it's fairly basic. I didn't see much in here that would be difficult for beginners. I think maybe there's an I-cord edging, and that might be the most difficult thing, which is not difficult at all. Christina recommends the Reef tank from Truly Myrtle, along with Eula and Lovell by Barocco. So we'll just look at this one, but you can definitely check out those Barocco patterns if you want as well. So according to the page here, this one is top down and seamless, and of course we can see it's got that V-neck shaping. And it's got this textured rib worked down here, which is really nice. So as far as construction, I'm going to take a stab and guess maybe it starts like below the armhole on the back and then is worked up to the back neck, and then doing the back neck shaping and then maybe joining, or it might go the other way. I can't really tell. Maybe it starts on the front and goes in the opposite direction. Then when the top is finished, it does say it's seamless, so I'm guessing there's no seams up here, that it's joined in the round and you're knitting the rest of the body. And then it's got this nice detail down here. So just below the waist, you are adding that really pretty textured rib pattern down there. So not quite sure on the construction, but it says it's top down and seamless. So I'm guessing there are no seams up here at the shoulders. This one comes in 15 sizes from a 31-inch to a 51-inch bust. It uses fingering weight yarn. It's 16 New Zealand dollars, and I'm going to say it's fairly basic. It doesn't say anything about short rows or any odd techniques, and the finishes look fairly simple along the edges. So I'm going to say pretty beginner friendly, most likely. I mean, depending, I'm not sure what the construction is going on up here though. So that's just 12 of the recommended patterns, and some other ones in those comments that you can check out as well. And I'm going to link to that community post so you can go see what other patterns other knitters recommend, and I'm sure you've got some recommendations as well. So be sure to leave a comment below this video and share your suggestions and the patterns that you've knit that you love to wear, especially those summer tops and tanks and tees. Go check out those comments and see what other knitters are recommending. Now I've got another video here where I walk through some of my favorite summer knits and the modifications I made to them. So if you haven't seen that, click right there and I'll see you in the next video.